Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Boruto episode 170. So, we are in the 170s now. Exciting. Um, we have Boruto still training in the last episode. We only briefly saw that. Sarada still training as well. We even more briefly saw that. We only saw like one or two scenes of that real fast. But we got to see Shikadai go on a mission with his team, teaming up with the Sand to recover one of Urashiki's puppets, and it ended up being a target for Deepa as well. And they had their little skirmish, so Shikadai now has experienced the strength of Deepa. Granted, they managed to defend against him long enough for him to start, like, steaming and walk away from it, you know? So interesting. I'm curious about all of that, you know. So I like how all these little stories are tying into the Kara group and everything, and I can't wait to learn more about them. So yeah, let's get started and see where we go this time. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Alright, Boruto, you're gonna have to find a new rock soon. Whoa, those were some weird subtitle placements, okay. Hey. You gonna talk about Deepa? Yep. Yep. Yeah, his defense was crazy. Boruto. Good man, Shikadai. Should get stronger just to get stronger, not to beat a single foe. That's gonna make your training more ineffective. Da da dum da dum dum da dum da da dum. Oh, I have some juicy watermelon that I have waiting for me to eat after this. I'm excited. I love me some watermelon. I get watermelon, at least in the summer, more often. Like every single week, I grab a watermelon and just cut that bitch up and just eat it throughout the week. Do 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 do. I really liked what Shikadai had to say there, though. That was good. I like that he was able to realize Boruto's ambition. Because I like Boruto's ambition to get stronger because he lost, you know, but I don't like the idea of just doing it for vengeance. Okay. Good. That's what I like. That's what I like. I don't want like, oh, I gotta beat this guy. Then we get into like Sasuke storyline bullshit. Nice. Is Shikadai able to help? Does he know enough to help him improve? Hey, Hinata! Aww. They're still at it. More balls. Oh, shit! That ain't balls anymore, guys! Whoa, that's cool. Nice. Uh-oh. Okay. Nice! Did she just get a cut there? Yep. Yeah. Nice. Ah, getting into that. Yeah, that's a difficult topic. All beat up. Ah. Yeah, I mean, she's clearly not going to go down the same path. Hinata listening in. Ah, she's just worried. I get it. It's gonna be hard for your parent to see your kid all beat up, you know? Yeah. She's still your kid, though. Yeah. To be fair, she's training so that doesn't happen again, you know? So I can see both sides, you know? Yeah, exactly. Yep. I get both sides. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. I wonder what the point of Hinata listening in there was. Offered a bribe. The chip she's holding, I'm guessing. You know she could Joe! Alright. Hmm. Breaking through a single spot. True. Alright. What is that face? How did they set all this up? Alright. Nice. Oh. Nice. Oh. Ah. Alright. I wonder what is going to be the result of all this training. You know? Like, if he can't output more chakra to make it bigger, and he can't change the form enough to make it stronger, then what is the third option that makes it work, you know? Damn, hasn't been home. Interesting. It reminds me of when Naruto was training the Rasengan and he like stayed out in the woods for like 3 days and Tsunade found him like passed out there. Okay. Hmm. Is that gonna be the trick? Interesting. What if you could turn the Rasengan into like a just like a bullet? Just like a thin line, you know? Instead of trying to make it bigger, make it more dense. How is moving mountains a, Oh. He's still watching. Interesting. So, was that tip that Kakashi gave on purpose then? Oh, hey, this guy. I don't remember what his name is. It won't be that bad this time. Alright, what is he up to? Sarada. Just sitting in the dark? Turn a light on, Sakura. Jesus. Hey. Nice. Help Sakura with the things that are on her mind. Oh god, are they drunk too? I know usually the red in the cheeks if they're not embarrassed, they're drunk. Yep. Jesus, look at how big that drink is she has. You know. Jesus. Yeah. I feel like Sakura's face looks a little younger in this scene, doesn't it? Maybe I'm crazy. Hinata's a little bit too. I feel like he just has that little, like, more rounded look that they do sometimes. But I could just be wrong. It looks fine there. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Just something felt off. Yeah. Go be supportive. Yeah. She like goes there. I'm here to stop your training. Just goes the complete opposite direction. Hey, he shattered the rock. So he figured it out then. Do we get to see it? Do we get to see what he did? I want to see it! Ah! Hey. Please demonstrate it. Some nice wear and tear. Oh. Interesting. It's the guy he asked for help. Who's the prisoner? It's a big guy. Is it the guy from the... Yep, okay. That's... This dude. Shoujoji, that was his name. Frickin' Kakashi. God. Damn it, we're not gonna get to see it this episode either. No! Ah, damn it. I want to see it. What did he do? Interesting. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right. Good shit, guys. I really like this episode. And that is it, guys, for episode 170. Yeah, so great episode, like I said. I really loved a lot of things about this. I really liked the beginning where Shikadai came in and he was like, "Hey, are you doing this training just for revenge? Because if you are, I'm gonna have to stop you because, that's wrong." It's basically kind of like what Sasuke was doing when he was younger, right? Was he only wanted to get stronger for revenge, and Shikadai saw that as a possibility and was like, okay, I need to do something, But I like how Boruto put it, and I'm really glad that Boruto said that. It wasn't that he wants revenge. It's that, you know, Deepa was the catalyst for him to look deeper in himself and realize that deeper. And realize that he's not as strong as he thinks he is, you know, because sometimes Boruto walks around like he's hot shit, you know, like going after that Hashirama cell, he kept like going like head to head with Mugino, you know, and stuff like that. And sometimes Boruto acts like he's like just as good as, you know, the Jonin that he goes with sometimes, you know. And, like, sometimes it's fine to have that level of confidence if you can back it up, but I don't think that he's quite there yet, you know? Like, clearly you can see the difference just from, if you look at, like, Kakashi, when he did his little copy of the Rasengan, it's not even, like, his specialty move or anything, and he blasted a giant hole in the wall, and then Boruto did his and just, like, made a little dent, you know? So, like, you can clearly like see the difference there, but sometimes Boruto would act that way, you know. And I like what he said here, where he like, you know, Deepa was kind of like the catalyst for me to, you know, look deeper at myself and realize that I'm not strong enough and I need to get stronger. So that was pretty cool. And then them just sitting around the fire and talking and doing all these little things. They're talking about like try to hit a single point because, you know, like obviously if the bigger, like, the AoE of the ability, right? The area of effect, right? So, like, you know, if you're hitting a really hard object, it's, you know, like, it's a lot easier to, you know, poke a dent in this water bottle than it is to try to, like, use my whole hand and dent the whole water bottle, you know? I barely even do anything. Whereas, you know, I can crush the whole water bottle with just one finger, you know? Like, it's a stupid little example. It's just what I had right in front of me. But it's like, it makes a good point, you know? Like, if like, he looked back and he thought of Deepa's, like, hardened skin, and he just needs to do a lot of damage to one singular point, you know? And then they started thinking about, like, well, how can they achieve that? He threw his, like, normal Rasengan, and it went through, like, a few of the targets and stuff like that, but didn't go all the way through, and they were thinking about how they can, you know, improve that. And they're like, okay, try to make a bigger one, you know? And so he tried to make a bigger one, but he couldn't. And we already saw the results of his change in chakra nature, you know? And stuff like that, like not being powerful enough. And I like how they're just sitting there, like, looking at the fire. And I always like whenever characters have epiphanies from, like, random stuff and what they decide to see as the motivation. Like, back when Naruto was learning the Rasengan, like a cat like wiggled the balloon back and forth, and he realized he had to move the water in more than one direction, not just the same direction, you know, in order to pop the balloon. So, like little things like that give characters inspiration. It's always interesting, and like seeing the wood burning, and then Shikadai related that to like coal and how, you know, coal can be very brittle, yet coal is like can become like it has the same composition of diamonds, you know, yet diamonds is extremely tough, you know. So it's cool how they like came to that conclusion, you know, and talking about like condensing down. And like my thought was like, what if he could like change the form of the Rasengan into more of like I related it to like a bullet because I didn't really know, like something like thin and, you know, that penetrates with a lot of force, you know. But the thing is like, I imagine that would just go straight through the boulder and not like explode it the way it does. So I wonder if he's doing something else. I don't know, like some kind of like implosion sort of thing. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm really curious to see because I think I'm wrong about it, like narrowing it down into like condensed, you know. But like, I don't know. Maybe it is a form of like condensing it, but not in the way that I'm thinking of. I'm really excited to see though. But yeah, on the other side of this, we had a lot with Sakura and Sarada and stuff like that, and like I think some of the best arguments is when you can see both sides. I've talked about this before in Boruto. I feel like Boruto does a pretty good job of At least not all the time. There's sometimes where I'm like, this is clearly one-sided of my opinion. But I like how sometimes you can really tell like, what I'm trying to say is here, in this example, we have Sakura who's worrying about Sarada and, like, not wanting her to push herself too hard. And I get that. She's, a mother watching her daughter, you know, jumping into freaking, I don't even know if she saw that part, but jumping into, a million kunai flying at her face. Like, one wrong move and, like, that shit could hit your heart and you'd just be dead, if you make a mistake. Like, that can be some brutal training. Like, obviously, I don't even consider that until Sakura, like, says something because, it's an anime, these are kids, and, like, she's a main character, and there's no way that they're gonna have her die to training with her father. But when you think about it from, like, a real life point of view, like, I wouldn't want my kid doing that shit, Like, screw that. But then there's the other side of the argument where we should be training her to get stronger because she's going to be out there doing missions. She's going to be doing dangerous stuff. That's the whole point of being a shinobi, is going out there and doing these dangerous missions. So the more we train her and the more we get her ready for that, the safer she will be, and I understand that too. So I really love those, like, conversations when you can really understand both sides and really see it play out. And I like how even Sakura was like, I know, I understand what you're saying, but it's just hard for me, And she even said it with her friends too when they went out. She was saying, like, I know that I'm raising a shinobi, and I should come to expect this and just believe in her. But sometimes it's hard to separate your rationing from your emotions, And so, like, sure, you can have your rationale, but when it comes to your emotions, you can't just turn those off, So it was really cool, and I like the how sensitive and awkward the conversation was when it came to talking about the Mangekyo Sharingan. It's because obviously, like, all of our instances have been through, tragedy of someone developing that. Whether it's, killing someone you love, or just, like, completely separating yourself from someone you love. Because, like, Sasuke didn't kill anyone to get his, right? But he, like, isolated himself completely and, like, tried to break all ties with the person, and that was his method of doing it, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen that part of Naruto, but I don't even know, like, did we ever actually see in this show, like, the moment when Sasuke awakened his Mangekyo, or did we just suddenly, like, see him with it and using it? I don't remember. But either way, it's always through, tragedy or extreme situations, and they don't want her to have to go down that route to get that kind of strength, But I've never liked the idea of, like, I don't know. There's always been something about the way the Uchiha are, where they're like, that whole thing about anyone with the Sharingan is doomed to face tragedy and stuff like that. I never like those set in stone things. Like, just because it happened to a lot of other people doesn't mean it has to happen to everyone to achieve that same goal. I like the idea that maybe we break that cycle, and Sarada might be one of the first ones to achieve, like, really high Sharingan strength, without needing to go through all the tragedy. Like, I can understand extreme situations when she's, like, fighting someone like Deepa or another Kara member, maybe awakening her, like, second or third Tomoe, in her eye. But, like, and maybe have that be the method sometime in the future that she gets her Mangekyo, But, I don't know. I like the idea of that far more than I like the idea of, like, oh, this legend of the, Uchiha always having to face tragedy to gain their power, I want to see that broken. That's what I really want, because I've just never been a fan of that fatalistic nonsense, I like to think that you can control your own destiny and stuff like that, and just because she has these eyes doesn't mean that, and just because other people have achieved this power this way, doesn't mean that I need to achieve it this way, like, because that just falls you into, like, I don't know, settling with that kind of meta just isn't always a good thing, like, I mean, it's like, sure, like, warlords can take over their country by, like, murdering and killing, but that doesn't mean it's the only way to take over a country. Or, I don't know, that's a bad example. I don't know what the hell. I can't think of, like, a good example, like, but there's definitely, like, trying to take a different approach and stuff like that. I hope we see that in this series. I hope it's not going to be something where, like, oh, Sarada has to go do all this, deal with all this tragedy and shit like that to acquire her power. Like, granted, there's probably going to be tragedy in her life. I just hope that that's not, like, the catalyst to her getting stronger, So, like I said, I'm okay with, like, the extreme situations when she's, like, in a very serious fight and suddenly she awakens something new. I think that's a lot more exciting than, like, oh, gotta go kill my best friend, But yeah. Definitely interesting how, they danced around that topic, and I think they need to, like, explain it to her at some point, and explain it to her in, like, a good way, and try to make it not seem like it's the only way, even if they think it's the only way. I think for her benefit, they need to say, like, this is how I did it, but you shouldn't follow in those footsteps. You should find your own way, because in a way that's kind of like what Sasuke did. Like he was pushed to doing it the way his brother did it, but he ended up finding his own way, and sure, that still was, like, steeped in tragedy, I would like to see it a different way, so. But yeah, that'll be an interesting conversation. I hope we see it whenever they do decide to, because I'm wondering how they're going to handle it. But whenever they do have that talk about the Mangekyo Sharingan and everything, yeah. But, as for the latter half of the episode, where we had Boruto, kind of having his realization, thinking about the lines that Kakashi said of moving mountains, he kind of had, like, the whole thing that Shikadai said, and then the moving mountains thing, kind of gave him an epiphany, and Kakashi was there watching, which makes me wonder, did Kakashi give him that line for him to, like, figure that out on his own? Like, is that kind of what happened, I never know with Kakashi, like, I never know if he's, like, slacking off, or if he's, like, doing kind of like the training that, Jiraiya did with Naruto, where he, like, gave him some tips, and then just left, and let him figure it out, and said, like, sorry, Naruto, you have to do this on your own, Like, I don't know. Or was it just a coincidence that Boruto correlated what he needs to do to improve to those lines that Kakashi said? But then Kakashi was, like, there, ready for it. Like, he knew that, like, soon he'd have a breakthrough, and he was still, like, keeping an eye out, so. And then he set up the situation where he's like, oh, you wanna test that new ability? You're never gonna be able to get the revenge you want if you can't handle this guy, and just brought back Shochoji, which was cool. Gonna see his nasty ass fighting again, so that'll be pretty interesting, seeing him, especially, like, something that can shatter a boulder. How is he gonna use that against another human being? Like, I can understand using it against Deepa, but if it's something that is that, like, devastating, like, can he tone it back for a person? But I guess we see, like, that, like, we see the Rasengan being used on a mountain, and it, like, destroys a big chunk of the mountain, yet we see them use it on a person, and they just, like, get blasted backwards. So, I'm sure there's, like, some kind of scaling there that can control and be used on a person. Because I can understand, like, using that level of power on Deepa, who basically turns himself into a boulder, But, I mean, Shojoji's just a normal human being, I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of, like, protection he does with chakra or anything, but anyway. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Boruto came up with, what this new move is. Shikadai seemed very impressed with it too. Um, but yeah, and hopefully, and I didn't really talk about it too much. I mentioned some little aspects of it, but I like the little girls' night out too. That was fun seeing Ino, Hinata, and Sakura all like talking to each other as parents, you know, and stuff like that, and their different point of view. I wish we got a little more from Hinata. I feel like she was just there. Like she like agreed with some of the stuff that like Ino said, but I feel like she didn't really have any like deep input, especially since she was the one that like heard in on their conversation too. It was more like she was just kind of there, but I mean, she's always been kind of the quiet one too, so it does fit her character. I just wish we heard a little more of what she was feeling about all of this too, you know. But anyways, yeah, I think that's gonna be it, guys. I enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait to see more. So if you guys enjoyed, hit that subscribe button. Check out my Patreon, link in the description, where you can see the next couple episodes ahead of time right now. And also, I have my Patreon exclusives where I'm watching Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2, Black Sails, I almost said Black Clover, and Jujutsu Kaisen. So check that out if you're interested. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.